Hello, welcome to video. My name is Leanna Williams. I'm a recent graduate of the National Theatre School of Canada. I'm a storyteller and a theatre lover, and I'm here to nerd out with you about Shakespeare, the actor's process, theatre school, everything in between. This is Call Me Billy. We're here to get on a nickname basis with the Bard. And we've been working really hard on our monologues, and today we're delving into the more meditative area of the actor's process, and that is imaging and dropping in. So this can be a bit of a polarizing topic in the acting community. I know some people find it super helpful with deepening their connection with the character and with the story. Other people think it's a waste of time and skip it completely. I'll leave that for you to decide. My philosophy is that as an actor, you want to have all the tools at your disposal, even if you use some more than others. And whatever helps you connect to what you're saying, whatever helps you awaken your imagination and connect to the audience, whatever helps you do that, it's priceless. So I want to start off today by heading over to your computer. Go to Google Images, go to Pinterest. I use Pinterest, or even an old stack of magazines if you've got them. And I want you to start compiling a collection of images that are inspired by the character, inspired by the world of the play, inspired by specific words that stood out to you. So for example, Portia lives in ancient Rome. Great place to start. What did ancient Rome look like? What did the houses look like that they lived in? I want pictures of the food that they ate and what the marketplace looked like, the clothes that they wore, the art that was made. I want pictures of parades and funerals and weddings. I want pictures of the Senate and Parliament and the great philosophers of the time, of the military. I want pictures of isolation and betrayal and like midnight meetings and all that jazz. And once you have this gorgeous big collection of images, you can just like immediately immerse yourself into the play just by scrolling through them and letting your brain percolate on what it sees. I also find this helpful, especially when my brain is feeling a little fried, if it's like in memorization mode or like analytical English class dissecting mode. It can be a really nice break to switch to the other side of your brain that's more like sensory based and immerse yourself in the world of the play that way. And that way you're still working, you're still doing the work, but it's you're just exercising a different skill. Just as helpful. The next exercise that I'll be offering to you is called dropping in. And I like to compare this to meditation. And in the similar way that like you'll be taking deep breaths, you'll be sitting in a silent, comfortable space, you'll be letting thoughts into your head and exiting, and it can be time consuming as well. So depending on how much time you have, where you can take it one word at a time, a few words at a time, sentence by sentence, we're going to be giving ourselves the time to let our thoughts wander and see how that might awaken our imaginations. I would like you to find a comfortable position on the ground. If you have a yoga mat, that's great, or a towel or a blanket or a pillow. I want you to lie flat on your back with your knees bent towards the sky and your feet flat on the floor, and your arms and hands resting, palms up towards the sky in a relaxed position. And from here, we're going to take 5 deep breaths. We're just connecting with our body, and we're just relaxing to prepare us for our work. Great. Next, I want you to grab your piece of text. You can have it printed out or written out nearby. And I want you to read the first word or the first couple words. Just breathe them in. Our first couple words for our monologue is Brutus sick? And I want you to let your mind percolate on those 3 words. Is Brutus sick? Repeat it over and over and over again. Is Brutus sick? Say it in different ways. Is Brutus sick? You can focus on the consonants, focus on the vowels. Pick your favorite word, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. Now, I want you to think about what senses do these words evoke? What memories do they evoke? Sights and sounds and touches and tastes. And I want you to let those images fall through your mind. Look at each one as if you're picking up a painting or a sculpture. Peer at it and then let it go. And then pick up the next one. So I'm going to do this out loud for you. Is Brutus sick? Sickness. Hospital beds. Fluorescent lights. The smell of hand sanitizer. Brutus. Brute force. Violence. Knocking down a door. Husband. Brutus. Brooding in the night. Sneaking out. Is right now in the present. Is Brutus sick? Bloodletting, leeches, the humors, the plague, wedding rings, deathbed, gravestones, 2 people dying together, the Notebook. Is Brutus sick? Sick, coughing, phlegm, can't breathe, tuberculosis. Is Brutus sick? Is Brutus sick? Now I'm going to let those words go. And I'm going to go to the next couple words, which are, and is it physical? Is it physical? And I'm going to repeat that process. You're going to breathe in those few words, repeat it over and over and over again. Feel how they feel in your mouth, the consonants, the vowels, and then let the images come. What memories does it evoke? What senses does it evoke? And they can be personal memories, they can be impersonal, they can come from movies or books or other plays. You're going to breathe that in and breathe it out, and then move on to the next few words. Once you've made it through your whole piece, I'd like you to take a minute, find your notebook and a pen or a pencil, and jot down any discoveries you made. Jot down any of the images that really stood out to you. Jot down the words that almost surprised you, or images that kind of like invaded your head without realizing, or jot down the ones that you were stuck on. Jot down any questions that come to mind. What questions surfaced after going through your piece this way? There'll be a few, I'm sure. This will all come in handy. And this is all here to deepen your connection with the character in the text. That's why some people find it helpful to think of personal memories that relate them to the character. But other people, it's not even necessary to do personal stuff. Find another movie, find another book, and connect it that way. And this is just to create vivid images that you can then call upon when when you're performing your piece to keep it fresh and alive and specific. Specific is the most important one. Great. Imaging and dropping in can add a lot of depth to your performance. These characters are having these thoughts for the very first time in that moment. And it's our job as performers to pretend that we haven't been studying and learning these words for days and weeks and months. Our job is to put ourselves in the shoes of those characters and to live in that moment with them, discover those thoughts in that moment with them. I find imaging and dropping in can be really helpful in this respect because we're using our imaginations and seeing what the characters are seeing in real time. We're experiencing the thoughts, finding the images, and then allowing those images to color the way we say the words. It keeps it fresh and it keeps it vivid. And having a big collection of images also means that even though we say these words every night for like 6 weeks, a different image might pop into your head for the same word and it'll color it differently. It adds a different layer, which can keep things exciting and alive and different each time, and can keep you engaged as well as the audience. An example in the text that we're working on might be for the line, by all your vows of love and that great vow which did incorporate and make us one. So when I'm saying that line, I want to be picturing Brutus standing opposite me and him actually saying the vows at our wedding. I want to be picturing like the flowers that I had picked out, or the band on our hands. Picturing these moments makes it more real, and because it's more real, the emotions feel more real. The urgency to get through to Brutus feels more real. The betrayal of his secrecy feels more real. And that can add a lot to your performance. And although the audience might not see the world that you're building, like your audience won't have access to your Pinterest board and won't be able to see the hours of research you underwent for the role to build this immersive world for yourself as a performer. They might not see all of it, but they'll see a sliver, and they'll trust the images that you're giving them because they'll have a hint of the depth behind them. And that's what distinguishes a good performance from an amazing performance. And I think that's what also makes a difference for you as the performer, to be like, yeah, I did good. And yeah, I really felt connected to the character this time. I really felt connected to what I was saying. And I think it really came across to my acting partner and to the audience. And that's what leads to a fulfilling feeling. Thank you so much for joining me for this meditative episode on imaging and dropping in. I'm really curious to see if it's effective for you and if you discover anything surprising. I know a few of my classmates had some pretty wacky journeys throughout the times that we had to do dropping in. And I know on a personal experience, I felt very frustrated at some points because it can be so time consuming and you can kind of get lost and you can sometimes fall asleep. And I'll just say, don't be hard on yourself if nothing comes through. And also don't underestimate the power of a single discovery or a single new thought. Write it down, jot it down, because you might need it later. Next episode, we're going to be talking about action verbing. And action verbing is one of the things that I've probably used for every single project I've worked on. It is such a helpful tool when it comes to giving yourself a real tangible thing to be doing while performing, so that you don't get lost in the many multitudes of things that we're thinking about while on stage. So I'm excited for next time. I will see you soon.